Hello, I'm Nichola, and this is my Prezi on institutional aggression. There are two suspected origins of institutional aggression. The first is interpersonal factors, also known as the importation model. Iron and Cressy believe that those in prison bring their own histories and traits with them, and that this affects how well they adapt inside prison. Iron and Cressy did not believe that people were blank slates when they entered prison. According to them, many of the norms which they developed on the outside were brought in or imported into prison with them. There has been some supporting evidence for the deimportation model, especially of things like race and age. Harrier and Steffensmeiser gathered data from 58 prisons in the US and found that black prisons showed higher levels of aggression but lower levels of alcohol and drug-related incidents. The second suspected cause of the aggression is situational factors, or the deprivation model. This model is based on the idea from Pataline and Peterson that prisoners or patients, if in an institution, aggressive behavior is a product of the stressful environment they are in. Hodgkinson et al. Found that nurse trainees are more likely to be violently attacked than more senior nurses. Davies and Burgess also found that in a prison-like environment, the more experienced a police officer was, the less likely they were to be assaulted. Substantial research which supports the idea that violence amongst prisoners is used to reduce the feeling of deprivation, e.g. lack of freedom, has been found. McCorkle et al. Came to the conclusion that deprivation is a strong factor which affects violence among prisoners. However, Nijman et al. Found evidence that deprivation does not cause aggression. They found that even when prisoners were given more space, that the level of violence amongst prisoners did not decrease. Hazing is a type of institutional bullying or violence which is used to test newer, less experienced members of a group and to keep the pecking order in place. Studies have found that hazing is also used as a sort of initiation in colleges and in prisons. McCorkle found that in prison settings, control over those weaker than you seems a way of maintaining status and safety. For example, if you're controlling those weaker than you, you will not be seen as weak, and you are less likely to be assaulted. However, there are issues with the definition of hazing. It can be hard to confirm what is actually considered as aggressive behavior and what isn't. E.g., in college situations, people who are roped into hazing often see it as harmless and fun. Institutional aggression between groups. Genocide. The Holocaust is an example of this form of aggression. Stab outlined the 5 stages of genocide. 1. Difficult social conditions, which leads to using a less powerful group as a scapegoat, which results in negatively evaluating and dehumanization of the target group, which leads to moral values and norms becoming meaningless and the killing starts. Bystanders remaining passive and uninvolved only intensifies the process. Genocide again. Dehumanization. In genocide, humans often lose any moral issues they would have about killing another human. The target group is dehumanized and becomes seen as meaningless, non-human creatures which are not even on the moral scale. Evidence of the harmful consequences caused by dehumanization has been shown in cases like the Jews in the Holocaust. Genocide again. The Nazi extermination of the European Jews is the most extreme instance of abhorrent immoral acts carried out in the name of obedience. That is a quote from Milgram. It was his belief that the Holocaust only happened because the Nazi soldiers were following orders from their superiors, regardless of their morals. Mandel, however, disagrees with Milgram's claim that this caused the Holocaust. He believes that Milgram's explanation fails to consider any other reason for why the Holocaust occurred. Thank you for listening.